All right. Welcome to Creekbottom Music House Concerts. Please put your hands together and welcome Bob Livingston.
Oh, did you just introduce me? He said, do something good because the folks are out there now, and I didn't realize I was going on that quick. Which means I'm going to have to take a sip of water. It's great to see you all. Thank you for coming. My name is Bob Livingston. I came all the way from Austin, Texas, just to be here today. It's good to see your smiling faces. Good to be here with Julia and Randy, bringing live music to Santa Fe. All you original spirits. I'll let Randy dial it in. She lives down south where the rivers age, goes back to the original spirit, and the India ink is flowing over the page, down to the original spirit, and the rhythm of life still young. And she is one among the original spirit. And every morning she walks out to the sacred ground where the ancient music is playing. She begins to sing as the rain falls down, like 1,000 voices were praying. And then the clouds have all gone, and her light shines on in her original spirit. And I need to know that I'm a part of this original spirit today. I need to know it. Where my aim is true, and I ride that royal road. Yes, I know the truth. I know it when I hear it in its original spirit. So take me down south where the river's age goes back to the original spirit, and the India ink is flowing over the page, down to the original, and the rhythm of life. Still young here in Santa Fe tonight. And we are all at one at the Creekbottom House concert with the original spirit. Thank you. So I got a chance to work for the United States State Department. You laugh, but it's true. And they sent me to places we may never be able to go again. Yemen and Syria. Yeah, man, in Yemen. It was a beautiful place. Of all the countries they sent me to, India was the furthest out. She said this would do something about antibodies. What did you say? No. And India was the furthest out and the furthest in. I got a chance to play with all these local musicians on their indigenous instruments. We call this music country and eastern music, or ragabilly. Another word, ragabilly. And so I came back to Texas, and I just wanted to duplicate that sound. And I looked around for some musicians. There was plenty of, Western guitar players and bass players that wore cowboy hats and play their ass off. But I needed the real Indians that play these exotic instruments, tabla and sitar, mridangam, the veena. And I found them too. They also worked for Dell. But these were geniuses. I don't know if that's good to say, but so we put together this group. It's called Cowboys and Indians. Dots, not feathers. And we put together a whole show, and I got sponsored by the Texas Commission on the Arts. We go into theaters and schools and stuff like that. And so I do some ragabilly here. I'll settle down. You do have a part in it. I'm going to show you your part right now. That's your part. Some cowboys and Indians came riding across the sands of a blood-red painted desert, lone equestrians. Sometimes red is black and black is white. Mortal colors vanish from your sight. Not the cowboys and Indians. Visionary drifters on a timeless caravan, sticking close together when things get out of hand. sharing in an unspoken word that each and every one of us has heard. Cowboys and Indians. Hey, here's your part. That's good. You can do better. Let's try it. Sacred, almost holy, they were here before me. And carry on. You're getting there. One more time. Through the lost horizon, went into disguise and carried on and on and on and on and on. And they're never without focus, always on a sacred trail. And it's absolutely guaranteed their steps will never fail. Oh, the wheel is turning, even standing still. And the wisest men know never to reveal. The cowboys and Indians. Yeah! Cowboys and Indians and cowgirls. Cowboys and Indians. Here's your part. That's your part too. Oh yeah. And they are cowboys and Indians. I'm going to kind of do the same thing here. So I'm from Lubbock, Texas, and I went to Lubbock High School, and I had Miss Honey for English. That'll be important later on. Actually, it's important right now. You had Miss Honey? You're going to love this. What? Uh-oh. Oh, my gosh. Miss Honey, she was an elderly woman. I didn't know what to think about her. And mainly because, have you ever tried to wrap your mind around the prologue to the Canterbury Tales? Anybody know what I'm talking about? One that the pretty with a shoulder sota. A druta march his pierced to the rota, and by the Davy vein and swish lay coo. That's where it goes. And I got to thinking that by the Davy vein and swish lay coo means bathed every vein in sweet liquor. That's what that means. So I didn't know, I kind of dug it, but I don't know why she tried to teach it to us. Maybe just so I could use it tonight. Maybe that's it. But I got this newfound respect for Miss Honey when I found out at the beginning of her career she taught Buddy Holly senior English. And I was like, what? I pestered her with questions. Where'd he sit? Over by the door, Bob. And so I got to sit. They were all bolted to the ground, right? And it never moved. I got to sit in Buddy Holly's desk. And let me just say that when I sat down, there was a vibration going on, and it was really vibey, and it kept getting more intense and more intense until I channeled Buddy Holly. He came, he possessed me, and he started telling me all this stuff. It seemed like it was urgent for him to get it out, and for instance, he told me about some of the songs he wrote, and he said right across the aisle there was this girl. She was so cute, he couldn't take his eyes off of her. He wanted to say, he needed to speak to her. There's something that he had to say. And what he wanted to say, he was too shy. But what he wanted to say was, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. You're going to give your love to me. That's what he wanted to say. Now, girls, I'm doing a little survey. If a guy says that to you, does that float your boat? Does it at all? How about if it's, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. You're going to give your love to me. See, it changes everything. So that's one of the things he told me. You showed me a new way to look at the Canterbury Tales as well, which we may or may not revisit towards the end of the show tonight. But the big single piece of advice he gave me was to get out of Lubbock. And I took off for the Wild West. And I made it as far as Red River, New Mexico. And I got this gig there, and I was fresh. I was green. I was a green machine right out of Lubbock. Didn't know what I was doing, but I was a kind of a folk singer, writing some songs and doing whatever I could. And they put a sign over my head at this little club that said, "Singer survival depends on donations." And I just want you to know, brothers and sisters, nothing has changed. Nothing. And so one day I hear about this band down the street, and this guy comes up and takes me, man, you need to go hear the boys. And I go down the street, and they had their own club. It was 3 guys from Dallas, Texas. They were called Three Faces West. And this is Texas music history, folks. Rick Fowler, Wayne Kidd, and this wise ass named Ray Hubbard. He wasn't Wiley yet. Just plain old Ray Hubbard. So we, became friends. We wrote songs together and had a great time. But then the songs that they were doing, I'd never heard anything like it. People like Keith Sykes and Johnny Vandiver and Tom Rush. I'd never really wrapped my mind around any of that. And the ones that really struck out, like Bill said here, the ones that really touched me were by this guy named Mike Murphy. And, he was from Dallas as well. They were in a folk club together up in North Texas State. And Murphy had just split. He'd gone out to Los Angeles. They didn't really know where he was. And I learned some of the song. I thought it was as good as anything I've heard. So I learned Wildfire. He had already written Wildfire and a couple like that. And later on, after summer ended, I took off. I made it to Los Angeles. And I got this record deal. And they gave me just enough money to buy a Datsun pickup truck and a Martin guitar. And I was driving down this dusty dirt road. You remember it. I was driving down this dusty dirt road in the middle of North Hollywood when the hand of fate just kind of came out of nowhere. And I'm not telling you, folks, I'm not telling you to stop for hitchhikers. That's not what I'm here to do. But if I hadn't stopped for this guy that day, I wouldn't be standing here on the stage at Creekbottom telling you this crazy story. Such an impact it had on me. He jumped in. We traded each other our life stories. And, mine lasted about 2 blocks. Nothing much happened to me but maybe meeting Ray Hubbard. But this guy, well, he was from Austria. He worked on foreign cars for movie stars in Hollywood. And he also got bit acting parts. And he finally looks at me and says, the only other Texan I know is from Dallas. He's a musician too. His name is Mike Murphy. Well, that guy became the governor of California. But no, that's the only thing I've told you that's not true. So far. But he was from Austria, and he did work on foreign cars, and he worked on Murphy's Jaguar. And I gave him my name and number, and I said, if you ever see Murphy again, please have him call me. That night, Mike Murphy called me. Who are you? What am I supposed to call you about? My mechanic gave me your name. And I told him about Red River and meeting Hubbard and Three Faces West and learning some of your songs. I said, Murphy, your songs are as good as anything I've heard since the Beatles. And Mike Murphy said, you know what? You're a genius. We need to meet. So that's how I met Murphy. And it wasn't long before my record deal kind of fell through, and so did Murphy's. We decided there was only one thing that we could do, and that was get back to Texas, where we once belonged. So we got on I-10, heading east. 2.5 sunrises later, my little Datsun blew a head gasket in Van Horn, Texas. Anybody been Van Horn? It's the world's largest truck stop, just full of millions and millions of gallons of diesel and coffee, all mixed together. Surly waitresses, suspect cooks. You know, they serve diesel fried steak. And early one morning, the sun was kind of coming up. We were hanging out in this little all-night cafe, 365, 24/7 cafe. The town iconoclast was holding court. Old raggedy, scruffy, beat-up jeans, threadbare coat, duct tape all over his boots, brown, green beard. I don't know why it's green. It just came to me, but an old Stetson with a bullet hole in it. He was a good listener. His name was Cactus Jack. And across the table from old Jack was this young boy with a far away, lonely look in his eye, just way too far away, way too lonely for such a young boy. But his lady love had run off and left him. You know what that can do to you boys. And he was telling old Jack this story, and he'd been searching high and mostly low, and the room kind of got quiet. And everybody kind of leaned in to hear what he said. And he said, right in the middle of the 10-cent scenery, shuffled and stacked on a postcard rack, there's a cute little kid on a Shetland pony. She smiles at me and I can't smile back. Cactus Jackie drinks coffee black. He says, son, this is your lucky day. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. Oh yeah. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. Well, now she left me cold on a winter's morning, and cold it's been for the longest time. She told me Texas is where she was going, and I've been looking, but she's so hard to find. Cactus Jackie drinks coffee black. Look at him. He tells me it's my lucky day today. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, and I come a long, long way. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I come a long, long way. I don't know just where I'm gonna find her. Maybe the soldier with the suitcase saw her. She just said she was going down to Texas for a little while. I'm looking for the girl with long brown hair, and she'd got crazy eyes, and she's not too pretty, but she's got a beautiful smile. And she just said she was going down to Texas for a little while. That's what she said. Well, now the cook in the back, he's getting mighty curious, and he asks the waitress where I'm from. She just says, well, hell, I ain't never seen him before. Probably some sort of spaced out California bum on his way down I-10 till he get to San Antonio, and that world's most dangerous stretch of highway, that I-35, turn north past that speed trap of shirts, probably get a ticket for sure. He's used to going 80 miles an hour, and they don't abide by that. On past San Marcos, where they used to have that Ocarina Springs and that swimming pig. I don't know if anybody remembers that swimming pig, but I think Ocarina Springs is gone, but some lady has that pig in her bathtub, for only $50, not bad. On into Austin. Why, Austin, Texas, why, just the name of it causes the hair to stand up on my neck. It's just, I've heard so much about it. The streets are full of musicians and poets and artists and actors and dancers of every description. I used to dance a little bit in Del Rio, and maybe I could get a job in Austin. I wonder if these boys give me a ride, get me out of this one-horse town. And Cactus Jackie says, that's right, as I walk out into the light. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, and I got a long, long ride. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, I got a long, long ride. Oh, outside, outside, the sun is coming up. And the wind blows me just like a Dixie cup. A Dixie cup down the highway. Down the highway. Come on, we got to get on that highway. We got to get to Santa Fe. Creekbottom House Concert. Turn on your radio. Yeah. 5 o'clock in a Texas morning, and I got a long, long, long ride. Yeah. Thank you. So that's a song by Mike Murphy. By this time, maybe he's calling himself Michael Murphy, not sure, but I think he wrote it when he was just plain old Mike Murphy. And he wrote it with a guy named Boomer Castleman. I don't know if anybody remembers Boomer, but he invented a guitar toy called the Boomerizer. That doesn't tell you much, but they were on. He was in a group called the Lewis and Clark Expedition. They were on I Dream of Jeannie. They were big stars. So we needed a place to live. We weren't going to move to Lubbock, which is where I was from, and we weren't going to move to Dallas, which is where Murphy was from. So that aforementioned hippie town, streets are full of musicians and poets and artists and actors and dancers, is a true story. It was true. We said, that's the place for us. So we moved to Austin. And in those days, what happened in Austin was around the drag. Everything happened at the drag. And that's when the university was there, and it was cafes and clubs and stuff like, and that's where people hung out. And there was this one cafe called the Les Amis Cafe. And all the prettiest waitresses worked there, so that's all the musicians hung out there. And one afternoon, we were the band was kind of growing. I forgot to tell you this one part about it. The reason we came back to Texas, my record deal fell through. And Murphy, you know, he was kind of used to that kind of thing, and his kind of fell through. And he was like, I'm going to go back to Texas and play some gigs. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was a folk singer, 3 chords in a cloud of dust, and I didn't really have a plan B. And I didn't know exactly how to, come on with me. I got these gigs back in Texas. Come on, play bass with me. I said, bass? I don't know how to play bass. He said, you'll learn. And he handed me this Fender Precision bass. For the next 35, 40 years, I made a living playing bass. So we come back, and Murphy and I are, pretty high. We're pretty tight, just the two of us. And we go out to all these little folk clubs all around Texas and all into Colorado and New Mexico and stuff, and we're playing. And you never know who's going to be in your audience, is all I got to say. You never know. And in the audience that night when we were in Dallas at the Rubaiyat, that's the name of it, the Rubaiyat, there was a guy there. He was a Nashville producer. And he was, he had produced Nashville Skyline. He had produced Blonde on Blonde and Simon and Garfunkel's, a bunch of stuff, did all of Leonard Cohen's things, and he was there. And after the show, he took us backstage and he said, "Boys, I want you to come." Actually, he's just talking to Murphy at this point. I want you to come to Nashville, and we're going to make an album. And Murphy said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm Studio A, Columbia. I've got a George Jones session. I'm on a reschedule, and I want you to come. We're going to make an album." And he said, "Well," and he was just him. And the guy said, "Are you coming or not?" And Murphy said, "Yeah, I'll be there." And then Bob said, "What about him?" And Murphy said, "What do you mean, what about him?" And he goes, "Is he funky?" And Murphy said, "Just look at him. What do you think?" So he said, "You come too." So I got a chance to go, and we recorded, and just the two of us. And Bob came out and actually said, "There's magic in this room, boys. These giant, tall, high ceilings with red velvet curtains, Studio A, Columbia. There's magic in those curtains. There's magic in the air, and you're going to be part of the magic." And so we made this record called Geronimo's Cadillac. Now, I'll tell you about it later, but I'm not going to do it right now. So I just want to put the situation in. Here we have Michael Murphy, and back at the drag. The door opens up to the Les Amis Cafe, and the first thing I noticed about the guy was his boots. He had the coolest boots I'd ever seen. They were walking towards our table. They were like this hieroglyphics, this embossed cosmicity right there on his boots. And this beautiful embroidered vest, I don't know where it was from. I'd never seen anything like it. And he was, I swear, 13.5-gallon hat maybe rolling around on his head, and a bathing suit. And he walked right up to our table and said, "Why, you look like a bunch of itinerant footloose musicians such as myself. Do you mind if I sit down? My name is Jerry Jeff." So Jerry Jeff Walker walks into our lives. And he says, he sits down and he tells us that he had some songs that he wrote too. And he knew we were a band. He knew he'd known Murphy. And he said, "Man, I wrote all these songs in Red River. Ironic. And I need somebody to play them." We said, "We'll do it." So we made this first record for Jerry Jeff. Has the LA Freeway on it. Charlie Dunn, I don't know if anybody even knows any of this stuff, but I'm telling you about it. So we go out on the road with Jerry Jeff, and we come back and we go out the road with Murphy. And so the band was called the Los Gonzo Band at this point. And we were just constantly touring with both of these guys. And something was going to break, of course. But in the Jerry Jeff instance, we go out to Santa Fe, and we played this place out in the desert called the Line Camp. I don't know if anybody remembers the Line Camp. Big roadhouse, people hanging out of the rafters. It was packed. It was so packed you couldn't even, if you died, you'd die standing up. I don't know how they danced, but everybody was dancing like crazy. And there were all these movie stars in the room that night. Dennis Hopper and his cadre of lost cosmic gonzo souls. They were all wandering around and drinking and dancing. And Jessica Lange was there. And she was drinking these long neck beers and dancing with every guy in the place. And Sweat was just kind of, anyway, it was stunning. And after the show, they invited us over to the La Fonda. Let's go with them. So we go over to the La Fonda, and we walk in. There are even more movie stars in there. They're making some big movie. And place was packed, and there was a guy leaning against the door that I was interested in, and he looked familiar. He looked really familiar, and he was leaning back, and he had his Taos hat pulled down over his head, big mustachio handlebar. And I thought, God, who is that guy? So I got to actually talk to Sam Shepard when I asked him, "Is that guy in your movie too? He looks famous. Who is he?" And he goes, "Well, he is famous, but he's not an actor. He's a poet. His name is Richard Brautigan." I don't know if anybody remembers Richard Brautigan. Trout Fishing in America, Watermelon Sugar. He was kind of a Rod McEwen on acid. But you don't even know who Rod McEwen is, so it doesn't make any difference if he's on acid or not, the way I see it. The only way you're really going to know is for me to do one of his poems, because the reason I'm making such a fuss about it, he's going to make a guest appearance in this next song. So I want you to know what kind of guy we're dealing with. So this is classic Richard Brodigan. It's hard to live with a guy in San Diego learning the violin, she said, as she handed the empty revolver to the police sergeant. Not funny? Not anything? Okay, well, how about this? I'll do one more. A lacy leaf of lettuce fell off of my plate and onto the floor. So what? That was the way the poem went. So sitting next to me was a guy named Gary Nunn, Gary P. Nunn. I don't think he was P yet. He was just plain old Gary Nunn. And we bought a bottle of wine and we strolled on over to where Richard was leaning against the bar and spent the rest of the evening just kind of talking to him and ended up writing a song about it. Jerry Jeff recorded it. A few other people, Mike and the Moon Pies. Bill Hearn, you ought to do this song. I already told you, yeah. It's a dance song. Bill needs dance song. It's called That Public Domain. Oh, wait a minute. I want to tell you that I had a chance to do it on my new CD, Up the Flatland Stairs. What? Up the Flatland Stairs. What'd he say? Yeah, we happen to have a few of them for sale tonight. Woohoo! I got my irons in the fire down in Texas. Got me a toehold in Tennessee. I got my foot in the door of that California store, but I'm up to my ears in me. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your policies will kill you. And it's all just public domain. I took a bite of the Big Apple. Oh, yes, I dabbled in that forbidden fruit, you naughty boy, where they promised me points and they slipped me little bitty skinny joints. But I've yet to see any loot from the fat cat in those high-heel Gucci shoes. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your politics will kill you every day. And it's all just public domain. Let's play it, boys. Well, I sang in that Red River Valley. I drank wine with the poets in Santa Fe. There he is. Well, I ran with those darlings in Santa Fe like I ran from Snow White in L.A. It's a long story. I think I go and see what's shaking down in Bombay. Why? Because I've broken all my vows to Demolay. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your politics will kill you. And it's all just public domain. And it makes sense to get into the rain. Into the rain. It's raining. It's raining. It's raining, 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 rain. It makes sense to get into the rain. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I live over in. I used to live in Oak Hill, Texas. And you know where Oak Hill is. And I found this little place at the end of a dirt road and a rock house, 5 acres. I thought I'd had it made, and one day the door knocked, and this guy said, we're fixing to build a 6-lane highway through your living room. And it was the Southwest Parkway. I don't know if anybody knows that. So that highway, a highway to hell, that's what they called it. And so I sold out, and it kind of made me sad to sell out. But I had my family, my 2 little boys, Tucker and Trevor, and so I'm going to do a song for them. Out on Oak Hill. We called it Planet Blue. Well, I got to have something that I can feel good about. Not fast or slow, just lazy between. And if there's just but one thing I can be sure about in this world that we live in, my baby loves me. With a house on the hillside, on the porch in the springtime, brings peace to my mind, watching it grow. And Trevor and Tucker, they sing for their supper. Nothing is said, for both of us know that the world that whirls around us, is a sight to see. Oh, and there's something that surrounds us. Oh, you got to feel it to believe. 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 The world that whirls around us, oh, is a sight to see. Oh, and there's something that's around us. Oh, you have to feel it to believe now. Feel it to believe. Feel it to believe. You got to feel it to believe. Feel it to believe. Well, I finally found something that I can feel good about. Not fast or slow, but surely tried and true. And if there's just but one thing that you can be sure about in this world that we live in, your baby loves you. Yes, he really loves you. Okay. You mean now? Has it already been 45 minutes? Really? I'll do half a song. Okay. What can I do that's half a song? All right, I'll do this. It's a sing-along. And I wrote it with this gal named Susan Herndon. She lives up in Okemah, Oklahoma. You know her. And she's very teasable is all I can say. You know, I've learned to not tease dogs and cats and kids, but I can't help but tease Susan Herndon. And so I knew I got her. It was a Woody Fest. I knew I'd somehow stuck it in and turned it a little bit. I knew I got her. And I just said, I got your goat, didn't I? And she said, yeah, you might as well take my dog. And so we sat down on the floor. We said, you got my goat. You might as well take my dog. Ow! Yes, you got my goat. You might as well take my dog. You got me out on a limb, sleeping in your hollow log. I know that you need me, you don't want to be alone, but why won't you feed me instead of throwing me a bone? And you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. That's your part. Well, now my dog is good, he's been living on the roof. You say that you love him, but he really needs some proof. You can bide your time, and you could start today. Pick up all the pieces, throw it all away, 'cause a dog needs affection like I needed your love. So give me some direction, 'cause all I can think of is you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Ow! Yeah, he's a good old hound. He even writes my daily blog. Pretty good too. He's a lot like you. He's funny and he's smart, but he ripped up my dreams like you tore out my heart. And you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Let me hear you sing it. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, you. All right. Oh, listen to me. Now the times are changing and they're moving away fast. You can burn up your dreams, they were never meant to last. There's a light at the end of a very long tunnel. I feel like I've been looking through the wrong end of your funnel. I wonder if you heard me or got my reasons right. This whole thing hit me in the middle of the night. That you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. Oh! He writes teenage lyrics for my publishing catalog. Had a couple of hits last year, actually. I'm moving far from you where there's no one else around. Out of the city back to a one-horse town. And you got my goat, you might as well take my dog. 4 more times. Oh, 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 yes, you. Oh, you can do it better. Yeah, yes, you. You're getting there. 2 more times. Yes, sir. You might as well take my goat. Big ending. Ow! Yes, you got my goat. You might as well take my dog. Woo! Woo! Hey, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. Don't go away. We got special guests in the audience. Are we rolling, Bob? We rolling, Andy? Somehow or another. I feel like I'm in a cockpit up here. I love to play house concerts. They got them all over Kingdom Come. There's a great group of I just got back from New England, and one of them's on Long Island that take you to the ferry, and you get on the ferry over to wherever it is, Connecticut, and then the owner of that house concert, the host, picks you up and takes you to their place, and then they take you off again and put you on the train or something. So there's 4 or 5 of them up there, and they really take care of you. Put you up in their daughter's bedroom, and they've shipped the daughter off to the aunt who, because of these crazy musicians are taking over her space. It's all pink, pink poodles, dog. The bathroom is disgusting, but, it's a lot of fun. So let's get on the road. And I'm feeling like I'm almost there. At least I know the end's in sight. Opportunities knocking everywhere. I'm out of the tunnel and into the night. Oh, beautiful sunrise up ahead. A million colors to the dawn. Planets in position, underlined in red. Auspicious beginnings roll us along. Oh, and I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it, but I just want to go home. I've been a gypsy way too long, J-boy, I haven't unpacked in 50 years. And Ramblin' Jack, he showed me the way to this song. Bless his heart. It's full of beauty, adventure and tears. Oh, the kindness of strangers and good friends. They put me up 10,000 nights at least. Anyway, my road is up ahead just before the dead end. It's the green gate with the Christmas lights. Oh, and I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it, but I just want to go home. Where there's questions answered, never asked. Indian summers they always last. Always. It all happened way too fast, way too fast. And isn't it strange how the die was cast? And I'm feeling like I'm almost there. I won't miss a turn this time, you'll see. The magic of the mission of the Flatland Stairs, that's the name of my new CD you can buy tonight. I feel like I made it to the head of the line. Oh, beautiful woman and children, they're waiting there for me. A house full of family and very best friends, dogs and cats and cousins. But am I only dreaming? Is this just a dream? Am I only dreaming this mystery? I hope I don't wake up before the end. Oh, and I couldn't get enough of it. I couldn't get enough of it. And I still can't get enough of it, you know, but I just want to go home, and I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel the same way. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll send this next song out to some people out that watching tonight out from New Zealand. Dr. Felix, and Suzanne are watching tonight, and they wanted to hear this song. So I'll tell you a little bit about it. In Mineral Wells, Texas. Anybody been to Mineral Wells? Mineral Wells, and back in the day there was a Baker Hotel, and there were mineral spas underneath in the basement, and people would come from all over. It was an internationally known resort. Vice presidents and Arab sheiks and potentates and people. You know, there's a lot of movie stars. John Wayne, Betty Grable, Betty Davis, all those Bettys. They all came and take a limousine from Meacham Field out to these places. And there were dude ranches. You would do the spa and feel real good, and then you'd go out to the dude ranches and ride horses and get all sore and everything. You have to go back and forth there. But there was some beautiful dude ranches, and one of them became a venue called the Double J Hacienda and Art Ranch. And they had this big courtyard in the center, and they had a yoga studio and an art gallery here and a massage over there, and then the great room, which is where they had music. So I got the gig, and I'm going out there to play, and I didn't know much about it. But when I turned around the corner with all my gear trying to bring it in, there was this girl standing there, and just this cosmic creature. And she, I don't know, I just have to, the thing is, she had a little scratch right here on her cheek, and her mother had given her this Band-Aid, and she put it on and tore it immediately off. And her mother tried to put it on there again, and she said, "I'm not going to do it." But then her mother cut it in the shape of a lightning bolt. And when Ruby, which is what her name is, When Ruby saw that, she wanted her mother to do one after another, after another, after another. So she had lightning bolts coming out of her eyes and this red eyeshadow. Everything that came out of her mouth was a song. And like we saw this little it looked like an outhouse, but it was the well. And when Ruby found out it was the well, she got all of her money and she wished and wished and she wished and wished and wished and then scraped it all back up and wished and just kept doing this. And meanwhile, the sun is setting on the Brazos. And I didn't want to miss it. And I said, Ruby, I hope all your wishes come true. I really do. But I don't want to miss the sunset on the Brazos. And Ruby said, take my hand. I'll show you a shortcut to that sunset. I just thought, forget the sunset. I want to write this song. So this is called Ruby's Shoes. Ruby's come up with something new, a shortcut to the sun. If I was standing in Ruby's shoes, I could be anyone, I could be anyone. I could be a rodeo dancer, I could be anyone. If she's the question, I could be the answer. First time I saw her, she was standing there on the Brazos River bank. She had a rainbow in her hair. I didn't know who to thank. Is that a wishing well? Does it really make wishes come true? I got a secret to tell. Ruby is wishing well too. She had sunshine, she had lightning, painted like an Indian around her bright eyes. Her shadows jumping from cloud to cloud, spinning in a circle beneath the blue sky. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ruby's come up with something new, a shortcut to the sun. If I was standing in Ruby's shoes, I could be anyone, I could be anyone. I could be a soul romancer, I could be anyone. If she's the question, I could be the answer, I could be anyone. I could be a rodeo dancer, I could be anyone. If I'm the question, you could be the answer. Ruby. Okay, we're going to get a special guest of ours, Bill Hearn, to come up here. Make Bill welcome. Help him up, help him up. Yeah, you could go, if he can go down here in the front. Can you go in the front or can you not? Anyway, Bill, great flat picker, knows a million songs, plays the Cowgirl Cafe if you ever want to see him there. And La Fonda. And he does all these Texas tours, and he doesn't call me up anymore. He used to call me. Yeah, yeah. And this is a song of mine. It's called "On a Dream with You," and I'll send that out to Melanie over here. She loves this song. I see her dance to it. It's part of the soundtrack. Maybe you should do this. We should have that.
Well,
Somebody would ask her to dance.
Recording it, Bob. I heard that you would do it at Kerrville many years ago, and I just loved it the minute I heard it. What a beautiful love song. Oh, yeah, go ahead. What else are you going to say? That's what we're going to do, right?
That's what we're going to do?
Yeah, I recorded two of Bob's songs. One he co-wrote, but anyway, yeah, this is a great song. And I learned about 2020. It took me a few years to learn it, but once I did, it was just great. You kind of forget about songs for a while, and then I thought about it. Bob, well, man, that was a great song Bob did at Kerrville. He was on right before me one year, and man, that's a good song. So,
and the whole criteria is you got to be able to dance to it.
That's right. That's right. I find people really love dancing to this song, and I put it on an album called let's see, it's on A Very Short Time. That's the album that it's on.
Yes.
Yeah. Bob, I don't know how we're going to do this. I can't remember how we did it at the barn dance.
I'll do the first verse. You do the. We'll work it out.
Okay. we got two chances tomorrow night too. So.
And the love that you give is love you never lose. It comes back to you in dreams that come true. On a dream with you. Life is simple and moving slow, like holding hands to the radio. And there's no other place we want to go. On a dream with you,
we're in love and holding tight. There is nothing we need sacrifice after all these lonesome nights.
On a dream with you, in a villa in New Mexico, wearing your boots with your evening clothes, and a band is playing Zydeco. Sunset comes and we fade away in the refuge between night and day. I'll dream with you. I'll Bill Hearn now. Sinking sand, and there's nobody else I'd understand.
On a dream with you, Indian ponies and western skies, wildflowers and coyote cries, they're all in the magic of your blue eyes.
On a dream with you, you're a cowgirl in a rodeo, riding bareback chasing down rainbows, and I'm the cowboy that you want to know, that you really want to know. Wanna dream with you.
Sundown comes and we fade away into the refuge between night and day. I'll dream with you. Yeah, we'll be.
And the love that you give is love you never lose. It comes back to you in dreams that come true. I'll dream with you. I'll dream with you. Yeah, I'll dream with you, baby.
Thank you, Bob. Oh,
Do one,
okay.
do one.
Oh.
We're gonna get Bill to do another
Thank you.
song.
We will do head full.
I think you could turn him up too.
We will just do head full of nothing.
Yeah.
Get through it. We can get through it. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Well,
What
I
can
know
you do it in?
I do it in let's see. C. I think. Let me see. Yeah. Well, I play it in A, but I'm staying. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He-
3.
When I was in Red River, so we were in Red River, Three Faces West, and Rick Fowler and I got together and we wrote some songs. And Rick just texted me saying, "How's it going?" He didn't show up last night when I played in Taos, so he's on the outs with me. But we'll do his song. And it's just Jerry Jeff loved it. He recorded it. It was kind of like being a hobo like he used to be. And Bill ended up recording it, and I really appreciate it. And just a good song.
Just to clarify, you and Rick wrote it together?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So y'all co-wrote this song, and I heard this. I heard Jerry Jeff's version before I heard Bob and Rick's version, I like Rick's and Bob's. Jerry get pretty crazy back in those days. And anyway, I'm doing it more like Bob and Rick would have done it, I'm sure.
Kick it off. Kick it off.
Okay, well. Time to tune. I think we're pretty close. Got a couple of old boys. It's sort of true, isn't it? But y'all did a lot of bumming around. You and Rick did a lot of picking around Colorado and New Mexico, and that's then y'all were quite a duo for a while.
We called ourselves Spec Ellis and the New Mexico Playboy. It was unclear who was Spec Ellis and who was the Playboy.
I know.
And there's a line in it that says, "Holding up the downside part of me," and I got to give Ray Wiley credit for that.
That's what I thought,
we stole that line from him.
That was kind of try-written between the three of y'all.
No, just that line.
Just that line.
Doesn't qualify for songwriting.
That's what I heard you mention that before. Ray's going to be here, speaking of Ray Wiley Hubbard, at the Opera with Lyle Lovett and Hayes Carl in a couple of weeks. I'll be there, guarantee you. Might even do a song, we'll see. Anyway, here we go. I'm standing on the shoulder of a road I do not know. Turned my guitar case over and I let that good sight show. I slept out on all the porches, the back roads of Mexico. Burned out all our torches in about a month or so. I think at last I'm free, holding up the outside part of me. Sun full of yellow and a sky full of blue. Been on my vacation at least a full year or two.
Or just high and hoboing in the breeze with a pocket full of hand, head full of nothing, boots are full of holes and my holes are full of sand. Well, it's getting on into the afternoon and the ride's flights are coming slow. Well, I'd sure like to get to Texas, but I'd settle for Del Rio. I think at last I'm free.
Downside, pardon me.
Pardon me.
Oh, yeah. Sun full of yellow and sky full of blue. I've been on my vacation at least a full year or two. Go ahead, Bob. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Billy.
All right, here we go. Well, now look yonder coming. What's coming on down the road? Well, it looks like a big old semi with a trailer full of load, a cab full of driving, and a window full of breeze, and a big old sign hanging on the side that said, "No riders, please." Took me all the way to Austin, though.
I think at last I'm
Free and then to Santa Fe. Holding up downside part of me. Sun full of yellow and sky full of blue. Well, I've been on my vacation just a full year or two.
Yes, I've been on my vacation. I wish I'd have been at home in bed with you, baby.
All right. Oh, well, whatever, man. Whatever. I got a big show to know. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, you have a big show you can't play?
I'm just kidding you, man. I play all night long with you, man. Yeah, we do have to go though, and we are playing a little La Fiesta Lounge tonight at La Fonda, and we're going to be down
plenty
there.
of time.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's 6:30 show. So
I'm going to do a
just
song,
mention it.
and you got to help me play this, Bill. So this is a song.
Okay,
when
I'll
we made
stay.
this record with
You want me
Michael
to stay? I'll
Murphy.
stay.
We decided Jerry Jeff wanted to make another record, and he went to Lukenbach, Texas, to the dance hall there. And he got a world-class mobile recording studio from New York City brought down. And we were up in New York playing, and we were walking out in the kind of the Broadway district. It had all kinds of clubs and theaters and stuff, and we were kind of walking on this side street, and here we heard some music. So what's that? And there was this door ajar, and the door was ajar to let these wires that were coming out of this thing travel across the sidewalk and into this bus. It was a bus. So Jerry Jeff we looked in see the people playing, and then he knocked on the bus door and said, "What's going on in here?" And they go, "Oh, we got a mobile recording studio. We go anywhere in the world. There's only one or two of them in the whole country." And Jerry Jeff said, "Will you come to Lukenbach, Texas?" And the guy went, "Sure, why not?" So they came, and if you've ever been to Lukenbach, right to the left of the dance hall there, that's where they set up. And there was wires running everywhere and microphones hanging out of the trees. They recorded banty roosters. We have miles of banty rooster talk. And set up and to set the band up inside and outside in the dance floor, bales of hay for baffles. And when they plugged the whole thing in, it blew out 6 counties of electricity. We had to rewire the whole thing. Meanwhile, we're all sitting around and drinking this sangria. Jerry Jeff, he would be making this big galvanized tub of sangria. And we'd sip a little sangria and pick a tune, sip a little sangria. Nothing was really happening. They were still kind of putting it all together. And finally, they said, "We got it fixed. Let's make it red." And Jerry Jeff was working on this thing, and he picked up his guitar and he said, "Hi, buckaroos. Scamp walker time again. Think it time to slide one by you once more. No matter how you do it, you just do it like you know what you're doing. Been down the road once or twice before, and getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. Well, today I was thinking, it's record time again, and I can hear Mike Maitland pacing the floor. Now I gotta just kind of pause there and tell you what that means, because the president of MCA Records, his name was Mike Maitland, and he was a good old New York boy, loved to drink whiskey. And Jerry Jeff was a good old New York boy, loved him to drink whiskey. So Mike Maitland kind of had a soft space for Jerry Jeff, even though he couldn't figure out what the heck he was trying to do. I mean, they had The Who and Elton John and all these people on, so he didn't know what to think about them either, but he kind of liked Jerry Jeff, so Jerry Jeff thought he'd give him a shout out. He said, well, today I was thinking, it's record time again, and I can hear Mike Maitland pacing the floor. Hey, Mike, don't you worry, something bound to come out. Been down the road once or twice before, and getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. And they fall. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. Oh, Bill Hearn gonna pick it now. Singing, getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. And they fall, and they fall, that's all. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. Now listen to me. Income tax is due. I think she is too. I've been busted, I probably get busted a whole lot more, but I'll check it on later. Nothing gonna stop me now. Been down the road once or twice before. What a philosophy. And getting by's my stock in trade. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. And they fall, and they fall. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Living my life easy come, easy go. Let's try it again. Getting by. Living it day to day, picking up the pieces wherever they fall. Picking up the pieces. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry the low. Just letting it roll, letting the high times carry. Living my life easy come. Living my life easy come, easy go. What'd you say? I said, living my life easy come. Here we go. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's do another
It is a
one,
great philosophy.
Here's one that kind of a new one, and a new old one. John Inman and I wrote it. Kind of talk about today. Well, we're thirsty, need something cool to drink. The oasis is further than we think. We've come this far and we can't go back. So we'll pitch our tent right here on the shifting sand. I talk about shifting. Well, all around you, things are changing fast. You got to hold on to something that will last. You keep on searching for the solid ground before the solid ground gives way to the shifting sand. See the water running through your hands. Things are changing faster than we can. You might jump, but who knows where you'll land. When you're standing on the edge of ruin, you'll be marooned on the dunes of these shifting sand. So we ride on the winds of change, and there's nothing that remains the same these days. Is there something to be gained from the shifting Well, we're thirsty, need something cool to drink. The oasis is further than we think. We've come this far and we can't go back. So we'll pitch our tent right here on the shifting sand. See the water running through your hands. Things are changing faster than you can. You might jump, but who knows where you'll land. You'll be standing at the edge of ruin if you're marooned on the dunes of the. Oh yeah, you're marooned on the dunes of the shifting sand. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I almost got it. Almost.
You got it.
Close.
All right, we're getting down. I go ahead and have to do this song. I'm going to have to tell this story. So I was talking about Three Faces West. Somebody mentioned Three Faces West. Who was that? Somebody came up and talked to me about Three Faces West. That was you. Three Faces West, Red River, New Mexico.
Yes,
cool
sir.
Outpost. And somebody, J. Boy Adams told me, what's the name of it? The Onion. Do you remember the Onion Outpost? God,
The Red Onion, they're talking about the Red Onion at the Alpine Lodge, I think.
There you go.
Yeah. That's
Red
the other
Onion
end of
at the
town.
Alpine
Yeah.
Lodge. He's
Yeah, the
mixing.
Red
You had too
Onion.
many drinks that night. You didn't know if you.
And that's where Bonnie and I started playing when we moved to Red River. The Red Onion. Yeah.
And so, when I first saw them, not only were they great musicians, but they just looked so cool. They wore these leather pants and leather vests and these wire rags around their necks, and they had rakishly long hair and beards, and wore these fry-toed boots, these squared-off boots with buckles. I was just from Lubbock, and I'm going, God, I never think that's the coolest thing. And they were just great, and I just wanted to be just like them. And so when I went out to make my fortune in on the West Coast, or to seek my fortune, every little town I stopped at, I went into the Western store looking for the leather pants and leather vest. To no avail, I might say, until I got to Vegas. I wouldn't be caught dead in most of the leatherware they tried to sell me in Las Vegas, but I did get the uniform, leather pants, leather vest, wild rag, grew my hair out on the spot, had the squared off boots, got me a beard, and you know, it's 126 degrees in the shade, and I'm walking around like this, and I need to go to cooler climes, so I went back to Red River. And when they took one look at me, they were just so happy to see me, they decided to have a party. We're going to do a party. We're going to form a band. We're going to have a party and form a band. We'll play songs at the party. And there was a gal that lived at the top of the pass. Her name was Annie. Mm-hmm. Remember Annie? Mm-hmm. She lived at the top of the pass, a log cabin. So that's where the party was. And all the musicians came up. They brought, you know, their guitars and beer, and the locals. They came up with cases of beer, and people in Cuesta had heard about it, and tourists from Santa Fe. They all came to the party, brought beer, and we ran out of beer at about 1:45 a.m. of the fifth day. And the only thing that we could do is send Ray down. He was a big man on campus. Send him down. He walks in this place called the D-Bar. Now, you know, as a Motherlode today, but it was the D-Bar. He walks to the bartenderess, sells him 2 cases of beer, pretty heavy. He had one on each shoulder. And he turned around, he thought he was home free, and he was almost out when this woman from Tulsa, Oklahoma, came and got in his face. Now, is anybody from Tulsa here? Good. Got in his face. Took issue with the way Ray looked and the way he smelled, I think. Because, you know, he's wearing those leather pants and leather vests, summer in and summer out. You can't wash those things. So he's probably pretty rank. And she said something like, "You so scruffy and smelly in them leather pants and leather vest, and you got them beady eyes rolling around your moth-eaten looking beard and that stringy hair and the squared off boots with, oh man, it's just so effeminate looking. That just don't look right. You don't look right at all. You don't even look like a real American to me. Why, you probably an alien. Or at least a Democrat." These were fighting words. So Ray took the 2 cases of beer, and he didn't know what was going to happen, and he put them on the ground because he thought something could happen. He thought he could have taken her one-on-one. If it was just her and him, he could have taken her. I'm sure he could have got a boot in there somewhere. But it was not to be, because this whirling ball of butcher knives and testosterone, formerly known as her son, came screaming out of the 4 corners, and cold-cocked Ray knocked him flat down on the barroom floor. And to his credit, he got up, dusted himself off, and to his credit, he came back to the party with the beer. We were always impressed. And it was cold out there, and he was carrying 2 cases of beer, and he's walking up the side of this mountain back to Hurricane Annie's cabin, and creativity struck him. And I know there's songwriters out there. It's not like I don't. But imagine getting beat up in a country bar and having a bloody nose, carrying 2 cases of beer up the side of a mountain, and still have the presence of mind to write a song. The mind reels. So when he got back to the party, we said, "Ray, where you been? It's been 7 days. We're skeletons here. What happened to you? Do you have any food?" He said, "No, but I got this case of beer." That's what he said. Nobody ever gets it. There were 2 cases, but now there's just 1. So finally, I had to explain the joke. Anyway, you got to follow. So he guess what happened? He said, "Hand me that guitar." And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "He was born in Oklahoma, and his wife's name is old Betty Lou Thelma Wanda Jackson Lou Lee Liz. Now he's not responsible for what he been doing, 'cause his mother made him." I said his mother made him do it. His mama made him what he is. Sing it if you know it. And it's up against the wall, redneck mother. Mother who has raised your son so well. He's 34 and drinking in a honky tonk. What's he doing? He's just kicking hippies' asses and raising hell.
Boy, he sure loves to drink. The old Lone Star Bill.
He does. He really does.
Well, he takes it down with a little wild turkey liquor. Right? He's got a GMC pickup truck with a gold wrap. With a gun rack. The golden rubbers need love to sticker. Love to sticker.
Wait a minute, just a second. I remember the pickup, and it was a big-ass truck. What do you call those big-ass trucks? Dualies. It was a dually, and it big bumper sticker, big tailgate, and he had bumper stickers all over it. And the one that I remember is, of course I'm drunk. What do you think I am, a stunt driver? But tonight, I was talking to Julia and Randy, and they said it's a special deal. We're going to pull down these shades after the thing's supposed to be over. We're going to drink whiskey and write songs all night long. And eat pie. And if when it comes to the part, Bill, where you need the bumper sticker, just come out to my truck and wake me up. I'll come out. I'll give you the bumper. Actually, since I've already told you there's a bumper sticker, let me just tell you the bumper sticker. You won't even have to wake me up. Okay? I'm still pissed at Yoko. And it's up against the wall, redneck mother. Still pissed. Mother who has raised your son so well. So well. He's 34 and drinking in a honky tonk. What's he doing down there? Kicking hippies' asses and raising hell. Bill Hearn gonna play it for you. Let's hear it for Bill Hearn. Now this is the part of the program where everybody hums, because I'm going to spell it. So let me hear you hum. Now M is for the mud flaps you give me to put on my pickup truck. And O is for the oil I find on my hair and in flames in the Persian Gulf. That's many probably. T is for Dolly Parton. H is for Haggard. E is for ignorant. And R, of course, is for. Ah, that was kind of I don't know, it was disjointed or something. Let's try it again. And R is for. Redneck. Pretty good. But I heard someone made it plural. I think it was a woman's voice. Made it plural. It's not rednecks. It's just plain old. And you know how I know? Do you know who Rocky Erickson was? Yep. 13th Floor Elevators. Yep. He's the one that invented psychedelic music, went out to California and taught the Jefferson Airplane and Grateful Dead everything that he knew. Well, he told me this. Unless you're a two-headed dog, you only have one redneck. That's what he said. Go figure. Go figure. All right. How many times, I'm just reiterate that, in a nice place like this, in this really upscale neighborhood, do you get to scream the word redneck at the top of your voice and not get beaten up or taken to the county jail? Not many times. So this is your chance. This is your license to be free. Let it all out. Exuberance. Ready? And R is for redneck. And it's up against the wall, redneck mother. Mother who has raised your son so well. So well! He's 34 and drinking in a honky tonk. He's just kicking hippies' asses on raising hell. Your chance to sing it. And it's up against the wall, redneck mother. Yeah, sounds good. Mother. So well.
So well.
Who cares? He's. What What's he doing down there? Kicking hippies' asses and raising hell. Where's he living? He's having the time of his life right here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, USA. Okay.
Bob
We have a little
Livingston.
Do you want to go now? It's 5 o'clock. I'm going to do another song.
What's that?
I said, do you need to go now? It's 5 o'clock.
You doing that? I could hang one more.
Okay, one more. All right.
I gotta go out. Play all night.
So,
I gotta go pretty soon.
I was talking to Randy earlier, and he said in 1953, Bob Wills and his West Texas Playboys came right here and played a show on this it was way back when this house was originally built. That's what I heard. And that was when the beat was young. Didn't you say that was when the beat was young? But you said further back? Okay, further back, 1923, Lucius Allen and his Cosmic Pharaohs came right here and played the most pharaohic music up there, and they had a street dance. There were Indians here. There was a lot of fun. That was when the beat was young. But you said further back? Who did? I heard it further back. All right, 150 years? How about 300? 300. 450, 500? Anybody got 1,000? Anybody? 1,000 years? We got 1,000. 10 million. Don't touch your nose in front of me, sir. That's 10 million years ago when the beat was young. Let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. Back to the Big Bang. 13,978,000,000 years ago when the beat was young.
Oh, I think all right.
And worlds were thrown like submitted Jackson Pollock paintings on a fabric of time and space. And one world rose to the surface, the blue pearl, Mother Earth. Next thing you know, there are volcanoes going off. Volcanoes going off. Thunder and lightning crashing. Here come the dinosaurs all belching and farting into the atmosphere, making the very air we breathe today sad, but it's true. Later on that night, a Cro-Magnon looking man with his knuckles dragging on the ground, with one hand dragging on the ground, in another hand there was a pterodactyl beak, and he was around a campfire fixing to barbecue it up for his baby, and he was crowing. And there was ancient band beating on sticks and rocks, sending out a rhythm nearly round the clock, Lord. Beat takes over, busted loose. Trying to hold back just wasn't no use. All the cats around feeling they got stung. Way back in history when the beat was young. Big Chief says to sing and dance. Smoke peace pipe and make romance. Beat takes over, things get to jumping. Jumping, snatching something from the jaws of nothing, whatever that means. They were kicking evolution up another run. Back in history when the beat was young. And when the beat is young, you have everything under the sun. When the beat is young, we'll all come together together as one when the beat is young. Amen.
My apologies to J-Bo Adams.
So a little time passed, and it got to the Middle Ages. And then it got to the Dark Ages, because mainly in the Middle Ages, if you had anything at all to do with the beat, well, they likely as not put you on a rack and pull your fingernails out. Why? Because it made your toes tap. It made your body move uncontrollably, and the biggest sin, it made girls want to dance. It was the biggest sin. So they built these churches, try to save all these beat heathens. Real old big rambling churches, and flying buttresses everywhere goes one right now. It had stained glass window, bathing in ethereal light. There was so much incense going off, you thought you were in the clouds. It was designed for enlightenment. And a little peasant from England or France, possessed by the beat, all he had to do was walk in, he would be saved on the spot. And so the Catholic Church was looking around and saying, you know what, this is kind of good. We got some business here, but we need to up the ante a little bit. We need a chronicler. We need a chronicler. We need someone to write about it, tell the story about it. So in 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 years, people know what happened. So they went down to the place where all the poor church mice, artists and poets, and actors and dancers lived in Cambridge, England. And they found this one beat poet, this one rap artist. His name was Geoffrey Chaucer. And they asked him if he wanted to go to the most beautiful cathedral of all and write about it. He said, what's the name of it? He said, it's called the Canterbury Cathedral. So he marched all day and they marched all night, marched all day and they marched all night. And they fell into these little taverns that were conveniently located in front of the double doors of the cathedral. And they drank mead. Has anybody ever heard of, anybody had any mead? It's fermented honey. It's nasty stuff, but it gets you there. And they got Geoffrey Chaucer there. And when he came in, he drank mead until he was silly. And he wrote down everything that he saw and he heard. And he was with a wild, disreputable, randy crowd, I can tell you that. And this, brothers and sisters, is what Buddy Holly revealed to me all those years ago in Miss Honey's English class. And I'm going to attempt to be the first guy to do a little, at least in the house concert tonight. Creekbottom house concert. I'm sure I'm the first guy to do a little Middle English rap. And if you had a Miss Honey in your life, just rap along with me. You ready? Now one that the pretty with the sure suit that the drute the march has pierced to the root, but that the vivine and swishly cool of which virtue and gender is a floor. Zephyr with the sweat of breath, spirit hath and every heart and heth. The tender croppers and the youngest son they have in the round me cause irony. Smile who follows Michael melody that sleeping up at night with open ear. So pricked here and heel garages that long on folk to gone on pilgrimages and promise for to sake is Strounders, Saunders and Sondre Couth and Sondre Lauder. Sondre Couth and Sondre Lauder. Yo. Now the beat is spread all around the world, and it beats in the hearts of every boy and girl. Kicking round the beat can be really fun. We get a kick it now. And the beat can make you work when there's work to be done. Even today when certain songs are sung, certain song, we all thank God Almighty that the beat is young. And when the beat is young, you have everything under the sun. When the beat is young, well, all come together as one. Come together as one. Thank you so much for coming out. Music can do it for you. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Again, Julia and Randy, thank you so much for having this. Oh, yeah. When the beat is young.
Bob Livingston.
The beat is young. The beat is young. The beat is young. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bob Livingston. Cowboy Bob.